Welcome to the premiere episode of Toon Talk TV, brought to you by We Are the Television. I'm one of your co-hosts, Nick Garcia, and with me are my pals, Brett Fishback and Alex Fishback. Guys, why don't you kind of introduce yourself for the listeners and viewers out there?
Yeah, I'll go for it.
I am Alex Fishback, one of the co-owners of We Are the Television. We Are the Television is a animation and sound design studio. I think we branch out into, other aspects of entertainment as far as music, music videos, just sometimes live action media, videos, all of the above. Whatever, I see it as a art collective with our friends, with other artists that we like. A place to put up art in a way that it's not just one person putting up some art. It's a group of people collaborating together, making the best possible materials they can.
It's like a orgy.
It's a giant art orgy. That's a perfect way of describing it. I am primarily in the audio background, so I record all the sounds. We get together in my basement and track all the voices for whatever cartoon we may be doing. I am the one that puts the sound effects together. I'm the one that edits those things together, but I've also started animating quite a bit through We Are the Television with the help of Brett, who takes lead on animation most of the time. I've been starting to do a lot of the backgrounds, which I enjoy. I think everyone kind of does a little bit of everything, but my focus is audio. But
dial it back, nerd. This is not a resume pitch.
Yeah,
Brett, give me the 1-2s, Brett.
Are you kidding me? Oh my God, I'm telling you.
Brett, give me the 1s and 2s. Who are you?
I'm the boss, dude, and these are my assistants pretty much. So
wow.
No. I'm kidding. I'm a co-owner of We Are the Television. He copy everything he just said. I do a lot of the art, so storyboards and cartoon designs and stuff like that.
I heard
Nick,
you're also.
What the fuck do you do?
Dude, what do I not do? So, I run the ship. I'm the captain. I'm also the janitor and the maintenance guy.
I'm also
and the
captain.
seller.
I would say that I'm also kind of the captain.
Yeah.
I write a lot, so I write a bunch of the stuff. I'm the idea guy.
Well, let's get into it, man. Let's get into the podcast.
So this pod, as you guys know, we are fans of cartoons. We like to talk about cartoons. We like to make cartoons. We like to write cartoons. We love everything about cartoons. So with Toon Talk TV, you're going to get a bunch of that. You're going to get some behind the scenes stuff. You're going to get our favorite tunes, what we're watching, and we'll be sure to answer the age-old question of what cartoons are you watching? We'll kick it off first with Alex. Alex, what cartoon are you watching right now?
Right now, I'm actually probably one of the only cartoons I'm watching is Solar Opposites.
Season 3 just dropped, right?
Yeah. So that's
it?
I didn't finish it yet. I'm come on. I don't binge the whole thing. I like to slowly an episode a day, I think I'm at episode 4.
Only it's been out for like a month now.
Dude.
Yeah. Holy shit, guys. Take it easy on me. I'm a one show at a
5
time.
minutes a day, right?
Oh my gosh. I'm a one show at a time. Just finished The Boys before that, started up Solar Opposites. That new Beavis and Butthead movie was awesome. What do you guys
what do you like about talk about? Do you like Solar Opposites?
I think it's awesome. I think it's funny how I just like everything about it is a build off of Rick and Morty. And I think it's actually kind of it's gotten to be a little better than Rick and Morty in a sense, because they took everything that was not that great about Rick and Morty and like made it into a format that you could just keep going.
Yeah.
It's like the Simpsons of Rick and Morty, in my opinion.
Brett, Al, you said you finished episode 4, right?
Yeah.
That's the Hulu Land episode. I just finished that one. Yeah. So we can talk. We could talk up to there.
Oh, dude, my favorite episode though was the one before that where they continued. They ended off episode 2 with the line. Yeah. And then in episode 3, they're all standing in line, and then instead of showing like the normal intro, he like shows his phone to like the guy next to him.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was very good.
The thing that I like that they're doing, well, I mean, I like Rick and Morty as well, but they play a lot with the meta stuff. And so since they are a Hulu property, they, as we mentioned in the Hulu episode, they just build off they mention everything that Hulu has to offer. Handmaid's Tale, Pen 15. They go to the Hulu Land place, which I think is hilarious. But I would say most importantly for that show, I have loved the In the Wall story. So for those of you who don't know, who haven't watched Solar Opposites, there is a side plot in this show where one of the characters shrinks a bunch of human people and puts them in a wall, like a terrarium, in his room. And just seeing those short little 1-minute clips or however 10 seconds of those characters interacting is hilarious.
I think it's actually it's gotten better than the main storyline. Well, I think the main storyline is hilarious, but it's like the wall is like its own little epic tale that just keeps building and building. It's not even
a comedy either. It's just like a drama, like action story,
which is awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah. I found this guy on YouTube that put together, I can't remember what it's a nice guy, but it's guy Gine. Wait, is that right? Nice? How do you spell nice, but you swap the G and the C?
Not right.
Guy.
What do you mean?
Yeah. There's no G
nice
in
guy.
Guy,
something like that. Yeah. But he compiled all the wall clips, so you can just watch that whole saga play out on YouTube. It's just one right after the other. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Solar Opposites is good. I like Solar Opposites. Beavis and Butthead, of course, came back with a vengeance on Paramount.
So good.
What do you? I mean, you grew up watching that, so what do you like the most out of that, Al?
I got to be honest. The what I like most about it, they've stripped out completely. And that's like the raw, like dirty animation of just like, they obviously redrew that background over and over and over again. It never looked the same. Beavis and Butthead never even looked the same. They all always kind of were squiggly and like not perfect drawings. And for me, that was like it was just something cool to look at. It was eye candy. And I feel like in this newest one, you're staring at it and you're like, what is wrong with this picture? Right off the bat, when they're sitting on the couch, and their heads are completely separated from the background, and I think
it's because the character outline was so thick too. I think it's
like the line weight is different from one spot to another. And I think we are hypersensitive to that now just because we're animating ourselves. But it almost pulls you out of the
it's like something you notice. A little, and
yeah. And I will say, like at first, like that's annoying, and like why did they not fix that? I guess, but as you continue to watch, it's same jokes, same Beavis and Butthead, just like in the now. The whole the Siri thing, like I know plenty of cartoons have made jokes on that, but like it's still hilarious to me that Beavis is just thinking that that's his girlfriend that he's talking to, and he's talking to his phone the whole time. I thought that was hilarious.
That's good.
The story was top notch. I thought. Yeah, it was basically the writing. I thought was top notch on that, because how do you incorporate those old 90 dudes with modern stuff, especially when it has to live up next to like these Marvel like movies with like, and everyone goes into the multiverse with Rick and Morty and shit. And they sort of did it, but in a super Beavis and Butthead way, where they're still trying to score some chick the whole time.
Yeah, it was awesome. really cool how they brought them from the 90s into present day without losing the classic, like you said, Beavis and Butthead flair.
From like a writer's standpoint.
Yeah.
How do you think, I mean, that seems extremely hard to bring in today's comedy, but keep the same format. I mean, is that just a product of the corporate atmosphere of having a million writers write on it, like other comedians coming in and blasting it with their jokes? Or is that, do you think that comes back to just being a good writer, just like a good main writer?
I think they had only, 4 writers on it, but I'm pretty sure those guys were like locked in a room for like a month, throwing shit against the wall, saying like, how can we bring these guys the fastest way possible, A to B, from the 90s to present day, and have it make sense. And so I'm pretty sure they thought of, I mean, instantly for me, it was like, I think they did something like a spoof on like Terminator at one point or something like that. So I in my mind, I was like, what if they just like sent them back in time or forward in time to protect their current old selves or something like that. And they end up killing them off. And like, they're now the people that are living there. But yeah, I think it's just a product of spending a length of time working on the story and then, getting that light bulb that clicks on in you and you get it.
I still think like what makes it still as popular today as it was back then, when they're just they repeat it over and over. It's the same
it's Mike Judge, man,
over and over again.
It's Mike Judge.
I mean, it's like you're not changing anything. It's the same shit, but it's still like perfect. I still think it's amazing. And you think that's just Mike Judge?
I think it's a lot of Mike Judge. I think anything he touches in the past, I mean, it's been like 20 years. Anything he touches, I thought was great. So it's like he definitely has an idea, and he doesn't come out with shit if it isn't fully cooked,
Yeah, I think it's part of that. He's been away from these characters so long, and people like us who grew up on it are like, holy shit, he's doing it again. Like, yeah, we're everyone in that generation is sold. It's kind of like last night at Lollapalooza. I'm pretty sure half of the age bracket there was seeing Metallica for the very first time.
Oh yeah.
Then you get all the old school people who are like, we came all the way here to see Metallica. So you kind of get that mixture of, ooh, let me figure out what is Beavis and Butthead. I've never seen it before. And then you get the old school people who are like, man, it's been so long. I can't wait to see some new material about it.
Isn't that, I still think that's kind of gross that I think a Metallica I'd assume that a Metallica thinks it's kind of gross that like, these people are gonna call us like that Stranger Things band now. You know what I mean? Though, for the kids that didn't know them, like I don't know.
They're that band in Stranger Things. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure they're happy they're making more money off of it. But
dude, skyrocketed their song to #1 on Apple. Thanks, Stranger Things. Yeah. Brett, what cartoon are you watching?
So I was initially gonna go with a series that I just finished, but I had 2, and I'd rather talk about a short that I think I sent you guys. It was a Dragon Ball short that was made by some fan, and it's like an animation studio made it just for the love of Dragon Ball Z. And the story was like, okay, it's an 11-minute story, but the animation was fucking awesome.
Top notch. Notch.
Did you guys see that?
Yeah, the fight scene is just insane. I mean, how long did he say that took to make?
4 years, man. 4 years.
My gosh.
I remember texting Brett about that, and I was like, hey, you should do something like this. And he said, that's my whole high school career. That's all high school. I was like, you got to do it for the love of the animation, dude. The love of the animation.
It is a little soul-sucking that took someone 4 years, and its runtime is how long?
Like 11 minutes or something.
11 minutes.
But you watch it and you're like, you can compare it to the Dragon Ball that they just put out, and that looks way better. And it's only because it looks like more, I mean, to someone who doesn't make animation, it's like, yeah, it looks kind of sketchy and there's like a lot of like lines all over the place. But personally, I think that looks cooler because it looks like someone hand did it, or it was drawn by like a team of like 5 people, as opposed to like went through a machine of a million people touching it and cleaning it up at every step along the way.
That's what I was saying with like Beavis and Butthead. I feel like you can tell when someone took the easy way out with animation and just decided to reuse certain movements or
assembly line almost.
Yeah. Or even like decide like, let's make a different cut here instead of actually showing that awesome fight scene. I think that for me, it makes it way better. And it's going above and beyond in the animation.
If anyone is actually watching this too, we should probably say exactly where it is, or link to it on the bottom. It's called Legend, a Dragon Ball Tale, and it's by Studio Stray Dog, and we should put a link to that in the description.
Yeah. Speaking of links, we will have links to our social channels in the description below. And we got a little surprise for you towards the end of the show. But Brett, I have a question for you from that short, and kind of like we said, he had like a team. He had a small team of animators doing that, but it took 4 years. How would you say, like, the feeling of finally accomplishing that as a person yourself that kind of hand draws all your animations and does that? What's that feeling like of finally seeing, that your finished product like out on YouTube or out on the internet? What's it feel like?
What's funny is I don't care about it anymore. Once it's done, I'm on to the next idea, but it feels really good because you don't have to touch it anymore. It can completely like leave your head. And I mean, I'm always proud of everything I put work into, because you spend so many hours doing it. But it almost like leaves my head after that. The most of the time it's sitting in my head is when it's being done. And that takes so many hours to do. So once it's out, it's like it's over,
I think Stephen King had a similar outlook when he said that when he's writing books, as soon as it's published, in kinder words, he's like, I really don't give a shit about it after it's published, because the fun part is actually writing the book. The fun part's actually making the animation. And so when it's published, I don't have anything to do. So I go about making the next thing and getting back into doing the fun thing that I love. Do you say that's about the same?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Well, Nick, what about you? Have you been watching any cartoons?
Dude, you know me that I've been watching cartoons way longer than you two nerds have been alive.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with an old favorite, and it was released a couple months ago, but I just rewatched Volume 3 of Love, Death, and Robots.
Yes, so good.
I will talk about 2 specific episodes because they were probably my favorites of Volume 3. And the first one is Jibaro, which was the season finale. The director of that one is Albert Maliho, and he did The Witness back in season 1.
Was that the one that was all gold and stuff?
Yeah, that was the siren one. Yeah.
Wait, that's the last one, and that was like it was like the live action kind of looking one.
Yeah. It was like the siren chick, and she's like all gold and.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like in the forest.
Yeah.
All right.
So I watched on Netflix. They have like a Inside the Animation on that episode, and the guy who directed it said that both those characters are basically, he was making a cartoon about himself, animation about himself. So as he explained, he was like, both of these are like toxic characters that are in a terrible relationship, and he's like, I'm kind of that guy. I always go after like the worst things. And he said that the story is about seeing red flags, and like, if you see a red flag in something, you need to get the fuck out of there. But it's also about like greed and how those things kind of corrupt. And in essence, as you see it, the one deaf soldier only wants the chick for all her jewels, and the chick only wants him because he can't really hear her voice. And so but then you go back and watch The Witness, which is the third episode of season 1, which is the guy that's stuck in the time loop, and he chases that Asian chick around in the like future, and he like kills her at the beginning. The animation styles of those are somewhat similar, but the stories are kind of the same. And he said that he really prefers a super loser than to superheroes. So the question I have for you guys is, do you prefer writing or animating like loser characters, or like the Indiana Jones guy who always comes out on top? Brett, you answer first.
I think that depends on the story, because I mean, it really you could show a loser and he gets to the top, which is always satisfying, or you show like a hero and you show his downfall or whatever, which is also a cool. I would like a juxtaposition, like something that happens to them pretty like, but I feel like that's just a story. So I don't know. I feel like it depends on the story.
What about you, Alex?
I think I always pick loser. I think it's like the heroes are lame. I'd much rather deal with the dork or like the nerd.
You gotta write about what you know, dude.
No, get out of here.
That's right.
Come on, that's boring. No one wants a winner and everything. No one cares to see that. I get you.
Yeah.
You want to climb up rather than a fall down. In my opinion.
I would say I'm the kind of the same way as I like the tragic like loser character, much like in the Marvel universe. Like I hate the character that has I hated the Superman of comics, the guy that has all the powers. How can he ever lose? Whereas I kind of gravitated to kind of like the Daredevils and the Spider-Man of ones who had maybe one power, but they were still human, and it showed like how they navigated just these everyday challenges. So I do like the tragic hero and the loser when it comes to those things.
And those are always more like fun writing. Like
definitely 100%.
The character that can do everything. Where do you go from there? Like you gotta like, okay, Superman, his one kryptonite, like that is the stupidest like problem that he has. Like, okay, you can't bring kryptonite in the situation. That is so lame.
But if you can write something in the story that makes that cool, you should. Like, I feel like that's the hurdle of the writer in that position, is if you have a really awesome hero type and you have to make the story interesting, that's the task. And if you could do that, then it's kind of awesome, you know?
That is true. The second episode that I want to chat about is it's called
10 minutes.
Bad. Oh, we got 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Real quick, I think it's called Bad Tidings. This is basically the Crab episode directed by David Fincher, which I believe is like the best episode that they've ever put out on the actual show. We won't get too much into that, but if you like Love, Death, and Robots or Solar Opposites, or as Brett said, just really cool independent animation, go check those out. But before we go, we wanted to touch on a couple of projects that we have in the works. One, we just finished an animation called Sports Bettor. Go check that out. We'll put a link in the description below, but it was a project that we all worked on. We finished it. Guys, I just got one question for each of you. Looking back on that project, if you could do one thing different, what would it be? Brett?
Mine is going to be stupid, I think, because I want to change the one thing that I got complimented the most on it, and it's I would add more keyframes. I feel like I could always add more frames and stuff to you add more frames and the animation just looks better. So at the end of the day, I could have framed it for days and it just would have kept looking better. So I guess that's the fault in animation. But also I had a ton of people telling me that the animation looked great. So I don't know.
That's hilarious that you say that, because the one thing I would change is the amount of time that we spent on it. Because all of our other cartoons, we crapped out in the past year because we had a deadline. This one we didn't have a deadline. And personally, I don't think that it looked way better than a lot of our other cartoons in the past, but I still don't think it was worthy in comparison of how much extra time we put into it to make it that well. So in my opinion, I would have said less frames and less frames, less time. So pretty much I say the exact opposite.
For
Nick,
me,
how about you?
For me, I would say going about the story. The way that we thought about other cartoons was in kind of like an episodic form, but looking back, I would try to take this as a one-off and just go balls to the wall and just do the most insane, stupidest things that we could do in that one, I think it's 3-minute cartoon. Make it almost like if there was only one episode of Sports Bettor, this is what it would be. So I think that's if I could go back, I would change that. But Brett, you got something to tell our viewers about our Patreon account where some people can see some extra bonus features.
I just set up a Patreon for us. So if you guys if you listen to this entire thing and actually enjoyed what you heard, we've actually done this a few times before, but we really didn't get the format right, or we didn't like how we did it. So, but if you're interested, all that content is going to be posted to a Patreon, and that Patreon will help fund future projects for us in the future, like any cartoons or stuff like this, or if we want to grab like some food for the crew or an extra case of beer or more gear or something, anything like that. So if you want to support or even just chat with us afterwards, that's the place to do it. It's patreon.com/wearethetelevision. And and you should if you like this video as well, subscribe to the page, comment down below, say subscribed or whatever, or say we suck or whatever you want to say.
I also think the Patreon should be a good chance to include more people trying to get their ideas out. If they want to if they think that they can voice a character for one of our cartoons coming up, like we need help
voice
with that.
actors.
Making a cartoon.
Oh, actually, speaking of,
a big process.
We are looking for we're looking for a voice actor for our next cartoon right now. Actually, two, a girl and a guy. And the guy is the type is a younger kid who likes crypto, a hype boy, and the girl is a classic bully character.
But she's also she's part of the Geek Squad. So she's kind of a nerd.
So
bully,
bully. Throwing that in context, we are working on a new project called Crypto Boys. We'll throw a little screen grab up there of our heroes, as you could call them, but they're basically losers. It's tackling the mainstream topic of cryptocurrency. So if you want to know more about that, as Brett said, shoot us a comment. We got an email address. We are the television@gmail.com. Is that right?
Yep.
Any questions that you have for it, as Brett said, the Patreon, you can check out all the extra bonus content that we have. We talk about the animation process as a whole, writing. We break down an entire script for an episode. We're gonna have a whole bunch of little tidbits and fun parts like that for you to check out. And then, of course, stay tuned for Crypto Boys, which we are currently working on. Got the writing done. We're currently in the animation process, and as Al said, the voice acting stuff that we need. So if you think that you are a fit for any of that, or just want to fucking give it a shot, reach out to us. We're always happy to get new voices in and see what you got to offer. Final thoughts, guys. What do you think about the first episode? Did we do a good job? You think people are gonna fucking listen to this?
Dude, I don't fucking know.
Who knows, man?
This could be boring as fuck. I don't even fucking know, man.
We're gonna try to put out another episode later this month. We're gonna try to give you guys at least 2 pods a month. Try to work on, as we said, coming up in the next few weeks. But stay tuned for some more Toon Talk TV. We got some exciting stuff for you guys to see, and we always love creating and enjoy. We are the television.